So this is an interesting situation. I always thought I'd talk about Pokemon Snap long before we ever saw a sequel. Well, now to do that, I have to talk about this game now. Later this month, we'll see a sequel to this game. This is great since I think this game really needed a sequel really badly. Not that the first game is bad, but I don't think it's aged well. So let's talk about it, shall we? This game is actually made by HAL Laboratories. Yeah, the guys who made Kirby. They made a lovely game, but due to lack of focus, one of the developers decided to suggest that they use Pokemon for the game. This person was Iwata, from what I can tell, who passed away some time ago. Shame, he seemed like a great developer and a really cool person. Anyway, originally the team didn't like the idea, but eventually all became Pokemon fans. Huh, interesting, I guess. Meanwhile, I got the game for the N64 version right away. I beat it, and then put it down for some time. I think I may have played the Wii Virtual Console once, but I wouldn't remember very well. Want to know why? Because this game is incredibly short. I clocked in roughly 2 hours recording for this video, but I do know how to get all the Pokemon as well. What kind of game is this? Well, it's an on-rails arcade-like first-person shooter. No, not that kind of shooter. And you aren't shooting Pokeballs either. You're actually taking pictures. Yes, this is a photography game. You are taking pictures of Pokemon while throwing fruit and other things in an effort to get a good picture. Sometimes you have to use puzzle-solving elements as well. But before I get into level design, let's actually start the review. So let's do it. Let's take on Mew! That's right, the mythical schoolyard rumor itself, Mew. The opening cutscene shows bits of the creature off for sure. Let's get into the plot, actually. See, you play as Todd Snap, a photographer hell-bent on taking pictures of the mythical Pokemon Mew. The game shows off this early for sure. Sometime after missing the Pokemon on film, Professor Oak hires Todd to help him catalog Pokemon or, something on this special island. This Pokemon Island is supposed to be relatively untouched by humans, but that's absolute bullshit. Second level is literally a power plant. You're going to tell me that Pokemon built this place? I know some Pokemon are electrical, but this may be a tad bit ridiculous. There are a few gates as well, but who put these up? Professor Oak? I can at least pretend he put up the tracks for your little buggy to follow and the teleport gates. Anyway, you basically take pictures of Pokemon until you find Oak at the very last level. He then tells you about the Pokemon signs. These are ancient Pokemon monuments dotted all around the island. I'm okay with most of these, but some of these are kind of dumb. One's a puff of smoke you can only see if you add a little poison to a volcano. And one of them is a tree, which will piss off all Pokemon fans who hate on Sword and Shield. But the worst ones are this lighting thing that shows off Pinsir from scrap metal, obviously left over by humans, and this light of Mewtwo. How the hell did Ancient Power know of Mewtwo? Isn't he a clone of Mew? Or is he like a child to Mew? Maybe this explains his Mega Evolution later on, but we're not there yet. Regardless, I know the story is supposed to be super simple, but even this story makes no sense with anything else in Pokemon lore. Yes, I know this game is made for little kids, but even as a kid, I was questioning this kind of thing. It just made no sense to me. Luckily, for what this game destroys in continuity, it makes up for in charm. Honestly, this game still looks half decent for an N64 title. Some of the environments aren't exactly pretty to look at. N64 sucks at rendering trees, in case people are wondering. No, I don't think the Sword and Shield trees are that bad. But outside of that and the player character, the rest look okay. The Pokemon are a bit bulky due to the graphics of the N64, but still not terrible. I can easily tell which Pokemon these are supposed to be. Probably the worst looking one in the game is ironically Mew. I don't like this model of Mew. One thing I do like is the peppy music. It isn't something I listen to super often, but I do enjoy it when it, brings up a nostalgic smile to my face. The Pokemon cries are all based on the anime too, and the voice of Professor Oak is also right from the anime, same voice actor, and sounds pretty decent here. Also, Oak looks decent compared to Todd, but that's mostly because he's a 2D cutout. I think it aged better than Todd did, though, so I'll allow it this time. Overall, this game is charming as all hell, and even more so back in the day. Seeing Pokemon in 3D was just cool as hell. So the game is, as stated earlier, a first-person shooter where you're working on a camera instead of a gun. The point of the game is to get good photos of Pokemon. This isn't as easy as it sounds. You want the Pokemon fully in the shot without being too small, centered in the shot, and you want the Pokemon to be posed well enough. If the creature's just, sitting there, Oak might just kind of shrug his shoulders at the picture. What's worse, some Pokemon he can't actually identify unless they're doing something. For example, Snorlax just looks like a fat mound unless you get him dancing or reacting to a Pester Ball. That's where your tools come in. You'll eventually gain fruit, which will also be able to, lead the Pokemon to specific locations. Pester Balls, which will defeat or annoy Pokemon, and a flute to play music. Each Pokemon reacts differently to this stuff, meaning you'll have to experiment with the tools a lot. And I mean a lot. For example, coughing, hit by a Pester Ball, literally dies. But if you hit Grimer 3 times, it will straight up turn into Muck, a fully formed Pokemon. Now for the horse shit. The Pester Ball is incredibly hard to aim. You are throwing in the general direction that you're facing. The issue is how much height and distance your throw does is incredibly hard to calculate. And the game at times gives you a very limited window. It isn't impossible to figure out eventually after enough throws, but on the few levels you are flying in the air, this becomes even more of a chore. There is nothing but the Pokemon to tell you how close you actually are, making it a guessing game if you hit your target. Still, you can get really good at guessing this, I suppose. It isn't impossible to get good at this, it's just very hard. Still, I'd say that this design flaws caused a lot of grief for people over the years. So, each level is on rails. You go through the same locations looking for secret Pokemon and better scores. As such, there's only about 7 levels. The beach is a relaxing ride with some flying, normal, and water-type Pokemon. The tunnel house is a power plant with electric, ground, and ghost-type Pokemon. The volcano is home to fire-type Pokemon. The river level is home to more water-type and some grass-type Pokemon. The cave has poison, ice, and normal types. The valley has ground, rock, fighting, water, and even dragon-type Pokemon. Overall, the type of Pokemon don't really mean anything outside of the Pokemon fans. The type of Pokemon don't really change the fact that you're just taking pictures. Or, using your tools to take pictures of certain Pokemon. You can't snap them all in one go, so typically, unless you have all the tools at once, you're going to have to do multiple trips through these levels. Naturally, you don't get certain tools until later, so it isn't until late game that you'll eventually gain the Pokeflute, getting Pokemon to dance. While that may sound like all the levels are super similar, they really aren't. Each level has you doing different things to take pictures of Pokemon. For example, one level has you leading Slowpoke to fishing areas to catch a Shelder and evolve it into a Slowbro. One area has you distracting Magnemite with food since they're photo shy. One area has you hitting a Whirlpool with Pester Balls to uncover a Dragonite. Each area introduces new puzzle elements to uncover new Pokemon to take pictures of, or secret ways to take better pictures of certain Pokemon. It really is a lot of fun. Now, when we talk about replayability, we run into a bit of an issue. See, the way to unlock certain stages are secret paths. However, you have to unlock the stages in order. Make sense? No? Okay then. Let me give an example. You have to hit this distant electrode to open up this cave and unlock the volcano level. That means the volcano level is a bonus level, right? No! You have to unlock it to progress to the next stage, the river. At the river, you unlock the next stage by getting a Porygon to hit a button. This unlocks the cave, but it is mandatory to get to the valley level. This is weird? Yeah, this is a weird way to set the game up. See, at the beach level, the only thing you needed to do to get to the next stage is get enough points by taking pictures. If you get enough points in the tunnel, you unlock the fruit tool. You need the fruit tool to blow open the volcano level and go there. But it is slightly hidden? Again, this method is just bizarre. It repeats until the end, too. Once you access the valley level, you can reach one final secret exit. This takes you to Oak's cabin. It looks relaxing. Here he tells you about the Pokemon signs. 6 hidden monuments in the 6 levels. This unlocks a final hidden level, which is mandatory for you to beat the game and see the credits. This game is really weird. Anyway, taking pictures of them unlocks the last level, Mew, which is like a boss fight. Good luck, though, as with the cave, aiming pester balls enough to crack Mew out of his bubble and get a good shot is incredibly difficult. Could have called this review Sauron Takes on Depth Perception. Jeez Louise. Luckily, this isn't exactly the end of the game. Once you snap a picture of every Pokemon in the game, including the hidden ones, you get a challenge mode. You can, more or less, try and beat high scores. I told you this was kind of arcade-like, right? Beating the high scores for another credit roll with little change and little reason to do so outside of bragging rights is not my thing at all. Not a bad reward, but for a game sorely lacking in content, actual hidden levels or a new mode or two would have really helped. So, overall, it probably seems my thoughts on Pokemon Snap are a bit negative, and compared to a lot of people, yeah, they are. The story makes no sense, the gameplay has depth perception issues, and the secrets are pointless or entirely necessary to beat the game. That being said, the levels are pretty good for this type of game, and the charm is naturally through the roof since this is Pokemon. And while I have issues aiming pester balls, the camera work is fantastic. I'm sure a lot of these issues came from changing the entire direction of the game to filter around Pokemon. However, a sequel could fix a lot of these issues. There is a lot of promise with this style of game for sure, mixing on rail shooters with puzzle elements and photography. It's a unique idea for sure. Personally, I don't think the first Pokemon Snap game is super great. In fact, I think it's just okay, or a 6 out of 10. It has a lot of promise though, but the sequel never came. What the hell? Why not? This game is now old enough to drink and smoke, guys. Ugh. The fans love this thing, even if I find that I can't really recommend it all that much. So why not build off this game? Oh, right, they are building off this game. Later this month, the sequel of the game finally comes out after waiting so long. Hopefully it fixes the issues that I have, huh? I bet the sequel will do a better job and have a more fleshed out video game. But if you are curious, check out the original. It isn't terrible by any means. It's just not super great either. But that's all the time I have for this review. If you liked the review, hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell for live notifications. You know the drill. And also check out my channel because there is another Pokemon review for the first generation. Yeah, that should be fun if you're a Pokemon fan. Until next time, my minions, take care. Try to review the next Pokemon Snap game as soon as I can. Until then, bye-bye.